call the meeting to order, the Historic Preservation Commission for Thursday, January 18th. And we'll start with the Secretary's report. Does anyone have anything they'd like to say about the Secretary's report? Having said, I don't hear any comments.
I move to go ahead and approve the minutes.
Second.
So we can go ahead.
So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Communications, staff.
Yes, so we have Eric Bierman as our newest commissioner to the board. So we finally have a full commission, which is nice, so full 7 members. So I don't know if Eric, if you just want to say hi, maybe a brief introduction.
So I've lived here for about 3 years. I've always been a huge history buff, especially local history and Davenport history. I've always loved going around and seeing all the old historic buildings, and I've also been really passionate about city involvement and community involvement. So this was kind of my foot in the door to start seeing how our city works and comes together and how decisions are made. So
Wonderful.
Where'd you come from?
Welcome.
I've lived here for about 3 years in the West End, and originally I'm from up north by DeWitt, so
okay.
from Welton. So.
Welcome.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, we have any old business?
Nope, no old business.
Nothing there. New business, case C0A24-01, request to install new windows at 1208 Main Street. The J. Monroe Parker Fick House is a locally designated historic landmark and is located within the College Square Historic District. C.J. Haas Home Construction petitioner on behalf of Delta 100 Alumni Council LLC Ward 3.
Okay, so this is a familiar project. So the J. Monroe Parker Fick House, so locally designated historic landmark, was locally designated in 2003. It's in the College Square Historic District. It was built in 1881. It's the French Second Empire architectural style. And this house is actually listed as the second most prominent residence in the state of Iowa, second just to the governor's mansion in Des Moines. And it's the most widely photographed and publicized landmark in Davenport according to the nomination sheet. So very prominent structure within our city. So a little bit of history, especially for Eric. So in May, the property owners submitted a petition to replace 80 original wood windows on the structure. The replacement product was a Harvey Tribute double-hung vinyl window. So at that meeting, the commission denied that request with the rationale that vinyl windows do not substantially match the composition, design, texture, material, and other visual properties of the original windows. The petitioner appealed the commission's decision to City Council in June. The City Council upheld HPC's determination. So the onus was then sent back to the property owner to one, either submit a new application for preservation or submit a different window product design for review. So that brings us to today's meeting. So today's project scope, it's a replacement of 80 original wood windows. So once again, it's replacement of all the windows on the structure. The product that they found is called Marvin Ultimate Wood Clad Insert Units. They're wood windows on the interior that will be stained, and then the exterior is a white aluminum clad. So the windows are 1/1 window grid, which does match the existing window design. They're designed to fit within the existing openings and have minimal alteration to the exterior of the building. And they did submit a window schedule as part of their application. So on the left, you can see a product spec design of the proposed replacement window, and then some of the images of the building itself. So in terms of project review, so property owners are generally encouraged to preserve original windows. However, where there is deterioration that's too severe, our code does ask that the replacement product match the older design, color, texture, and other visual qualities, and where possible, material. So this application doesn't document preservation. Instead, they tried to find a replacement window product that better fits both the owner's needs for durability and one that's more energy efficient than the current ones, while also preserving some of that historic character as well. So given that the original windows are on the structure, the replacement wood-clad insert windows will be manufactured to replicate to the best extent possible those existing openings. So in recent years, the commission has approved similar wood windows with the exterior aluminum clad on structures in the Hamburg Historic District. So the city has generally viewed this product as a compromise, one for its durability and energy efficiency, while also being sympathetic to historic character. So with that, city staff is going to make a recommendation to approve the application as submitted. So we reviewed this product with conformance with our historic preservation ordinance. So it meets the following standards: that deteriorated architectural features should be repaired rather than replaced. However, where it requires replacement, the new feature shall match the old in design, color, texture, and other visual qualities where possible materials. Luckily, the existing windows are in place, so they can be used as evidence for the manufacturing of the replacement product, and that the proportions, so the width-height relationship between the windows, be compatible, if not replicated, with the architectural design and character of the property.
I'd like to add a couple of things if I may. There is a precedent for using the Marvin wood replacement windows, both at the German American Heritage Center and the Hamburg Historic District. So I believe if a replacement must be installed and for thermal efficiency and resistant to rot, that Marvin is a very good option. The Marvin window has been, well, let's just compare it to vinyl windows. Vinyl windows a block away, anybody can tell it's plastic. So Marvin has a reputation and a history in Davenport woodcraft. If no one has anything else to add, I'll make a motion that we approve.
Second.
Motion approved as
I'll do a roll
to
call.
us from staff.
Okay.
Okay. And-
So I'll do a roll call, Diane.
Yeah.
So Estetti,
Yes.
Bierman,
Yes.
Franken,
Yes.
Miranda,
Yes.
and Powers.
Yes.
So motion passes.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming out, Rob.
Yeah, I was nervous and you made it easy. I guess the product made it easy.
Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
So I'll follow up with you tomorrow.
Okay.
Moving on to B, new business, 2023 Certified Local Government Annual Report.
Okay, so as you're aware, so the city of Davenport is a certified local government with the State Historic Preservation Office. So every year in January, we have to review and submit a revised application updating the state on all the activity taking place in Davenport. So I wanted to kind of go over our 2023 highlights. It's been a busy year. So this year we've had 29 certificate of appropriateness applications, which is a new record probably in the last 10 years that we've seen. We've had 3 demolition requests, 1 certificate of public hazard, which was 324 Main, and then 1 National Register nomination down on 2nd Street. This year we adopted new bylaws, which was much needed. And then we had a unique funding opportunity this year, which was the Dream Plus program. So that was the program that offered property owners along Gaines Street. So that encompassed a lot of Hamburg district. It awarded up to $50,000 to historic homeowners to rehab their homes. So that was really why we saw that uptick in applications. So it should be fun, hopefully in the next year when we start seeing those projects actually come to completion. In terms of partnership and collaboration, we continue to work with the library and special collections, do projects with the school district, and then the William Butterworth Foundation in terms of training and public education. State Historic Preservation Office came down to visit us and gave us that workshop on historic windows. And then we also had the National Alliance Preservation Commission camp webinar in June. And then in terms of outreach and events, we did 2 of the Party in the Park events over the summer. We offered 4 different downtown Davenport architectural walking tours, and then we had the porch party at the Butterworth Center in Deer Mining House. So it's been a productive year. So for the online application, similar to previous years, they do ask this question, that we review last year's work plan, reflect on it, and then develop a new work plan for the next 2 years. So for tonight's meeting, I thought we could review last year's work plan, maybe provide you with some feedback. I could incorporate it into a draft, and then we could review and vote on it for the February meeting. Because the next steps would be finalize work plan in February. The report will be presented to City Council, likely at a management update meeting. And then City staff will submit the application online by the February deadline. And then that gets sent to the state office, which will review it and provide a response. So, I do want to say too, in terms of education and training, so the 2024 Preserve Iowa Summit's in Mount Pleasant, so it's about an hour and a half away. So if anyone's interested, we can look into that, maybe do like a day trip there and back.
They typically have a Saturday.
Do we have a date on that now?
So it's the 6th through the 8th of June. So I could check and see what the actual dates those are.
I
But
see.
the city would pay for the attendance fee. So it'd be a Thursday to a Saturday, so maybe there's a date, one of those 3 dates, or
And you're
all
saying
3.
We would go down for a day, or we would go for?
So we can, once we get the conference schedule, we can send it out. And some of that's up to you and how long you want to go. I believe, I can double check, but overnight accommodations may be at your expense. I'll have to double check.
And then we'll continue to look for those Preservation Commission webinars and forward those along as well. But if anyone has any ideas or feedback.
Is that all you wanted to say about that?
That's all I have. And
Okay.
I have 2 small things that they're kind of related to the Extreme program. So there's a couple of funding things that are still working their way through and haven't gotten to you yet. There are a series of retaining walls that we are, as a city, that are being designed and looked at. So some of them would come to the Historic Preservation Commission. I can't remember if it's all of them. So there's still those funding mechanisms out there, and then we may or may not see, I think maybe in February we'll have to see, there's another program through the city called the Extreme Dream Program. I may have mentioned it before. That's the vacant and abandoned housing component of the funding mechanism that's out there. So it'd be people taking abandoned homes and rehabbing them and turning them into single-family homes. So I know for sure, and it's all along the Gaines Street corridor, so right in Pomper. I think it extends outside of it as well. So I know that there's at least one person that's reached out to us that's interested in one that is in the Homburg Historic District. We may have something to present. He might be ready for you in February. We'll have to see where he's at. But that one, I think they get up to 100,000. Oh, yeah, it's a substantial amount of money.
But these are on houses that are currently unoccupied and perhaps quite seriously deteriorated.
Right, they're Yeah, so, I can't remember how many are on the list, but they picked that corridor because there are a lot of vacant and abandoned houses there. And so we, as a city, there's somebody assigned who can help. We don't own them, but we can help get them into different ownership. There's a couple mechanisms for us to do that, or they can do it on their own. And then, they review the projects for their viability and things like that.
Do you happen to know the major stipulations? Is there like a matching requirement?
I don't, but I can look and get some.
Is it online?
I believe so, but let me look. If it is, I'll get you a link.
Okay.
This might be outside the purview of this commission, but a couple of years ago, there was a small, probably 2-bedroom, post-World War II home on Bridge Avenue, immediately north of what had been a quick shop. Perhaps it had a fire, don't know, but I know that it was they were trying to sell it, and I think they were selling it for like $5,000, some ridiculous low amount. Someone bought it. I know they went in. I know they totally redid the interior because I could see the working. They totally redid the exterior. Very modest home, but it looked pleasant. And the last time I drove by there, it was half demolished. I mean, seriously, half.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously it wasn't a historic home,
No.
per se.
Yeah.
But it was so that was not part of any program from the city that they were putting money into a house or anything.
Correct. And not to invoke people's ire, but I believe that those were purchased by Genesis and they were torn down. Unfortunately, the city does not have mechanisms to stop that.
So Genesis is reaching all the way to Locust Street then.
So I think sometimes they're given properties. I don't know how they acquired it. But yeah, those were ones under Genesis's ownership and they did tear them down.
All right.
And we're moving on to other business. Nomination of officers. Do I have a nomination?
Yeah. Do you want me to give a summary?
Oh,
So nomination of chair and vice chair. So this is the first year under the new bylaws that we had this. So I can just read this. So the commission at the second regular meeting of the year shall elect to its membership a chair and vice chair, each to hold office for 1 year. Both chair and vice chair shall be eligible for re-election. However, no commissioner shall serve more than 2 consecutive terms as chair or vice chair. So in this case, Bob can't be chair again and Diane can't be vice chair again. Then elections shall be by a separate ballot vote. Commission shall first select a chair, then a vice chair, and you can only hold 1 position. So nominations to be held at the first regular meeting of the year. Commissioners may nominate themselves or another. Nominees may submit a written statement to the commission secretary, myself or Laura, expressing their qualifications and interests, which can then be included in the next meeting packet.
okay, we'll start with nominations for chairperson. Do we have any nominations?
Can I nominate, I mean, does a person have to want to do this?
I suppose they can decline it if they don't want to.
Okay, I would like to nominate Mike.
Okay.
I would like to second that motion.
Okay.
Mike, he's got his mouth open.
Just say yes, just say yes.
No, well, I was thinking maybe I would be going for vice chair.
Oh,
Well,
that's not happening. It's
that's-
not happening,
So
Fine.
you don't have to accept or decline right now. You can
Right.
think about it if you want,
Yeah.
and let us know. Know that we will help you with the procedures and things like that. Anybody that becomes chair or vice chair, we will help with procedures and how to run meetings and things like that.
Any other nominations? Seeing none, we move on. VP, nominations for For VP, I would like to nominate someone that's not here. I'd like to nominate Chris.
Okay,
So,
we'll reach out to him.
is that okay to nominate someone?
Yeah.
else? As a-
Yeah, it's not in the bylaws. Okay, you can. We'll reach out to him.
Okay, do I have a second for Vice Chris for
Sure, I'll second that.
Okay. Michael has seconded that. Anything else we need to do on that before we have, it's
Not
open?
really. Anybody else interested at all?
Any other nominations?
Okay,
That was,
so, we will reach out, and if for some reason either, don't feel pressure, we can table the election if you've decided that that's not the right fit for you, and we'll check with Chris. We'll just table it, because I don't want anybody to feel like they have to take it, but somebody has to.
I thought it was an unwritten rule, if you're not here, you're automatically.
Don't be scared of it.
So let me ask you this. I know all that open meetings law business, right?
Uh-huh.
But what would happen if I called Chris and asked Chris if you were interested in being chair?
I mean,
He
well,
could call one-on-one, correct?
yeah, absolutely you can.
Yeah.
And honestly, you can nominate, if you want to back up, you can nominate him for chair as well. And yourself for vice chair.
That way we'll actually have an election. But-
If you'd
Sorry.
like.
Yes, okay, I'm gonna nominate
Whatever
Chris
you guys
for
would
chair,
like.
if that's all right. And then we'll work it out
Yeah.
over the next month and everything will be cool.
sounds
All right.
like the healthy way to do it.
See, Eric, we're really organized here.
There, having no one here from the public, any open forum from commissioners, comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Easy peasy.
First meeting, man.
All right,
Eric.
guys.
Just